1.1.4 Compound Procedures. We have identified in Lisp some of the elements that must appear in any powerful programming languages. Numbers and arithmetic operations are primitive data procedures. Nesting a combination provides a mean of combining operations. Definitions that associate names with values provide a limited means of abstraction. Now we will learn about procedure definitions, a much more powerful abstraction technique by which a compound operation can be given a name and then referred to as a unit. We might begin by examining how to express the idea of squaring. We might say, to square something, multiply it by itself. This is expressed in our language as define square of x multiply x. So to square something, multiply it by itself. We can understand it in this following way. Define to square x, square something, multiply it by itself. Here we have a compound procedure, which has been given the name square. The procedure represents the operation of multiplying something by itself. The thing to be multiplied is given a local name x, which plays the same role that a program pronoun plays in a natural language. Evaluating the definition creates this compound procedure and associates it with the name square. The general form of a procedure definition is define, a name, formal parameters in middle parentheses, and then body. The name is a symbol to be associated with the procedure definition in the environment. The formal parameters are the names used within the body of the procedure to refer to the corresponding arguments of the procedure. The body is an expression that will yield the value of the procedure application when formal parameters are replaced with the actual arguments to which the procedure is applied. The name and formal parameters are grouped within parentheses, just as they would be in an actual call to the procedure being defined. Having defined square, we can now use it. Square of 21 brings 441. Square, add add 2 and 5, and then square it. Gives us 49. And squaring. So, if you square 3 and then square it again, you end up with 81. We can also use square as a building block in defining other procedurals. So for example, x squared plus y squared can be expressed as plus square x square y. Oh, so I messed up. So I'll restart. Okay. Get that up. Alright. We can easily define the sum of squares given that any two numbers as arguments and produces the sum of their squares. So, define sum of squares x, y. I wonder if this is going to cause these. Alright, plus square x square y. Okay, there we go. Sum of squares of 3 and 4 should give us 25. Yay! Okay. Now we can use the sum of squares as a building blocks in further procedures. Okay, so define function a, so f of a, to be the sum of squares applied to a and 1, the sum of a and 1, and multiplying a and 2, and then, okay, so then we do f of 5 is 136. Perfect. Compound procedures are used in exactly the same way as primitive procedures. Indeed, one could not tell by looking at the definition of sum of squares given above whether square was built into the interpreter like addition or multiplication, or defined as a compound procedure.